So hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. I wanted to do a quick little follow-up video on the 59, showing that we are in fact progressing along on it. Man, she was dirty, but she looks good now. We're gonna let it dry and put some tape on it. So I just found another use for this thing. That's pretty cool, man. I filled it up one time, cleaned off the whole side of this car, didn't have to break out the water hose or nothing. We used it in the past on some other projects sent to me by a subscriber. Speaking of things sent by subscribers, man, I got a whole bunch more to show off, y'all. We need to do another video on fan mail. The stuff just keeps coming in, man. Really awesome. So anyway, let's get let this dry off a little bit, and then we'll start running tape. Start our masking process. This is right where we're gonna split the colors. Get some tape down in there. That's pretty nice, man. There's a big enough gap to actually force the tape down into. Love it when that happens. That'll create us a nice seal, and we won't have to worry about overspray blowing onto the next panel. But yeah, this is where we're gonna cut the color right here. We're going to split everything on natural body lines, meaning nothing is going to get split in the middle of the panel or any of that. We're painting full panel here, not burning nothing in or any of that. So I got the hood springs out so that I can lay my hinge down and run my plastic right over the top of it, but it won't stay up there and it's about to drive me nuts. So I think I'm gonna wedge some tape down in this thing. Should be easy enough just to kind of keep it up there out of the friggin' way, man. That thing was driving me nuts. Let's see. There we go, good. Yeah, having that out of the way makes it way easier. I can get my tape down in here, and our plastic will just run right along there. It ought to work out just fine. Yeah, I just need to run some tape just right in behind here. You see what I mean about having really good places to split the color, because you know from here down it's black, so the fender where it overlaps right here is where we're going to cut that off. That way we're getting the whole jam and everything in there. Notice my hinge fell down again. That's alright, I was done with you anyway. Some of you guys would be happy to know that I did oil the hinges on this thing. They were quite the squeaker last time when I was trying to hang that thing. They were noisy. So it's always a good idea to get in here and tape all these holes shut, because you already know that overspray is going to get in there. And we got all our trim in here, man. We don't want all that overspray on that stuff, so it wouldn't be a good thing. So tape all this stuff shut. So when it comes to the masking, the simplest way I know to do it is just to run around all of your edges on all of your panels that you're going to be painting. And that's exactly what I've done here. We've literally outlined all the way around these panels, all the way around where we're splitting the colors. You see here, this has a factory seam that runs all the way down through here, splitting these two panels. There's an outer and then there's an inner. And then it has a big giant chrome taillights and a big giant chrome bumper that goes here, so you don't see the seams once it's all put together. So it's a perfect place from the factory to split our color so that we don't have to paint the rest of the car. All we gotta do is just focus out here on this. And you see here where I've gone through here again, factory trim, a big giant piece goes on here, trim runs right down through here, again covering our seam, which will be up inside of here where the trim is going to sit, so you'll never see it. Same thing down here. We split the color in the trim holes so that our trim will sit right over the top of it. Again, splitting the two colors, you'll never see the seam. And the cool thing about this car is up in the jam, more seams. Look at this. That is a factory seam right there that runs around right through here. Look at that. That's where this panel sits on top of this panel, providing yet another perfect seam for us to break our colors. This eliminates any potential for paint lines. The last thing we want is lines in our paint from our tape. So this card lends itself to being able to paint it panel by panel, you know, without having any kind of worries of tape lines or any of that stuff. So really cool on that. Yeah, look at all that trim in there. So with that done, we can shut the trunk back down. So now we can run our plastic. Just want to run it right up over the card, just like that. And cut the end of it off. Works best if you just twist it around and cut it. Now just spread it all out. Real easy, simple, and we made it really convenient for you. Follow the directions. You only want to paint one side of it. It's labeled, paint that side of it. Don't get it upside down. So now that I've got all that plastic kind of spread out, now I'm just going to pull it and just drape it all the way down to the side there so that we get good coverage along the bottom and up this side here, and then of course up this side over here, across the back and the front, right? Yeah, this part could be a little bit of a challenge just because our tape right here, remember, it's sticky side out, but that's what you want because you want to be able to come through here. Once you get your plastic draped down, you want to be able to come through here and just push on that, stick the tape right to that plastic. Yeah, just like that, look. Now we're stuck all the way around, right? That's what we want. And then we can come through and trim this off, get rid of what we don't want, and look, this is all sealed. Same thing with these other areas. Looky here, you see? Right where that plastic touches that tape, all that tape being sticky side out, we did a thing called back taping. Went through there, put all our tape sticky side out, and now we're sealed up all around these areas. The wheel well's the same way, look at that. You're gonna seal it up all the way around there like that, right? Then all we gotta do is cut out the area that we're painting. We did the same thing up in here. Look at that. Just put that on there. All this is, we've got a nice seal. We'll come through, trim all of this out. We'll have to run some tape through here and in some other areas. This will go away. We'll have a nice sealed up engine compartment. All that dust, dirt, everything that's in there is going to stay in there and not come out here on our paint job. Do the same thing back here. Get this down to the floor, somewhere thereabout, just like that. This is the cool part, is when you just get to come through here and just barely run your razor blade along through here. You want to be really careful. Don't cut into the paint and don't cut through the tape. You just barely run down through here on your plastic. Just like that. And look, that's all stuck. It's sealed. You're good to go. Then when you get to this part right here, you just want to be really careful. Cut right on top of the tape. Don't cut through the tape. It's really important that you don't cut through the tape. Just glide your blade right along through there and you'll be fine. And then of course we'll come back with a piece of tape, just like that. We'll run that across there, and then that keeps the overspray off of the bottom portion. So there we go. There's one panel completely wrapped. We'll move on to the quarter panel. I'll get that done and I'll check back in with you guys in just a few minutes. So we need to get the plinth out of the way. I thought we'd take this opportunity to do a little cold start. Why not? Better shut her down. She'll be out of gas in no time. Probably a good idea to go ahead and put this back on there. And then store it outside with an open carburetor, that's for sure. Well, with the Fury out of the way, we can clean up our mess. Man, we get a lot of junk underneath there. So hey, I did manage to get everything completely masked off. There's your quarter panel, completely wrapped up, ready to go. And then over here, look, we did the doors. The doors are ready, all the way wrapped, all the way around. That way we don't get overspray on the inside of the jambs. Don't want that. We only want to get paint on the outside. That is it. And we'll come through, we'll do us a couple of nice coats. We'll put a drop coat on it, and then we should be good to go. We'll get into all that in just a minute. For right now, it's time to start cleaning. And you guys know I like to use my spray-away glass cleaner. Yeah, check it out, man. The subscribers sent us a whole bunch of this stuff. It's like a whole pack of it. 6-pack. So this is unsponsored content, but I really love spray-away glass cleaner. I've been using it for years. So yeah, just get you some lint-free paper towels. It's really easy, you know, you just take this stuff. Now, I know professional painters that have been painting for years and years. I'm talking custom paint jobs on custom Harleys and choppers and you name it. And they've all done it this way. It works really good at getting fingerprints, you know, greasy fingerprints, stuff like that, the dust, the dirt, anything that might have been left behind. This is a single stage paint job, so we would not be able to wipe over this with, say, some acetone, definitely, you know, no lacquer thinner or any of that kind of stuff. We'll wipe the paint right off of this thing. There's no clear coat on it. It's a single stage. It's not made to have clear coat. So you can't use anything aggressive like that. You got to use something a little more mild. And this stuff right here will still, it'll get the job done without damaging our surface. Back when I worked in a paint shop, the way they always showed me to do this was you want to wipe over it like one time. You don't want to go back and forth. I mean, look at this, y'all. That was one single wipe. You see how dirty it is? Even though we went over it with our tornado and all of that, I mean, look at what's still left on the surface. That's crazy how dirty that is. Yeah, you just want to wipe across it one time. All right. Flip your rag. Wipe across it again. And you just keep doing that. And obviously, over time, you do that a few times, it's going to get cleaner and cleaner. Eventually, the rag will not have any dirt or dust on it. And at that point, you're good to go, right? So something else to mention on the clean is once you get to a point to where the rag is starting to come off clean, come behind it with a dry rag. As you wipe it, dry it off. You see what I'm saying? With a nice, dry, clean rag. And I'm just alternating between the wet and the dry. I'm still flipping my rag every time. Always do that, right? And then I come through here and just kind of wipe it off with the wet rag and then come back with the dry one behind it. So now that we're clean, it's time to tack it off. These were sent to me by a subscriber. Very much appreciated. You guys have really been helping out with these projects. I'll tell you what. Let's get one of these guys out of here. So on your tack rags, in case you've missed it in previous videos, this is the way to do these, man. These are really, really sticky. And you want to unravel them completely because they got them nice and folded up in there. Keep it off the ground, obviously. But get it like this to where it's all unraveled and then just sit it somewhere. Not on your fender, not on whatever you're going to paint, but just sit it somewhere. As for me, I think I'll just sit it right there on our masked off surface. Let that sit for about 15 minutes. Now what that does is it just helps some of that stickiness kind of dissipate a little bit because, man, these things are really sticky when they come out of that package. And it can get some of the sticky residue, especially if you push too hard. You'll smear that stickiness onto your surface and you don't want that at all. So anyway, just come through here, kind of rub down in everywhere, all the little areas down inside of here. You'll even come through and you'll wipe it across your masked off surface, the nearby areas, the surrounding area. You'll want to go over all of that with your tack rag. It's also worth mentioning that this is a really good time to come in and check your masking. As you're tacking this off, you'll go through and make sure everything is still stuck. And look, we got a situation right here. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about, man. We got to look for that. This is your last chance before spraying. Yeah, so it definitely pays to slow down during this part because if we had missed that, we would have had a mess going right there on our two-tone where the white and the blue meet, man. We don't want any overspray in that area, that's for dang sure. So I'm glad I caught that. So I just cracked open the blue paint again. Ain't seen that in a while. The way we're gonna do this is a 4-to-1 mix. So all you do, in case you missed it on another video, is you find your 4-to-1 mixing ratio. Look at that, see? 4-to-1, can you see? 4-to-1. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up to the first column with our paint, all the way to the number 4, and then on the next column, we'll go up from there with our hardener, and it'll just be a tiny amount. That'll be your 1 part. So 4 parts of the paint, 1 little part at the end of the hardener, and then you could put a splash of the reducer, this here. You can put a little splash of that, maybe half a part or even a whole part on that, and that'll kind of help it kind of flow out of the gun a little better, helps it kind of lay down a little better too. So here we go. Let's mix up to the number 4. Try to do this one-handed while I hold the camera with the other hand. So yeah, all you do is just fill up that very first column all the way up to the number 4, which will be about right there. And then you'll come in with the hardener, and that's this stuff here. Yeah, this is the hardener here. Just 1 part of it is all it takes. So there we are. Yeah, like I said, we will pour the hardener up to the next number 4 there, and that's all it gets on that. Make sure you strain all your stuff, y'all. Don't forget to use your little strainer. The paint shop usually gives that stuff away for free, so there's that. And all the strainer is, in case you don't know, it's a filter, a really fine filter, so it'll catch any kind of particles or whatever you don't want in there. And just a little bit of the reducer at the end, like we'd said. Barely, like a full part, barely. Always be sure to stir everything thoroughly when you're done, and scrape your sides. You'll want to come through and scrape the sides even, all the way around, get all that off of there. So we got our cup, there's our liner. Let's not forget the strainer again. Let's pour this in there now that we've got it all mixed up, ready to go. There's that. Let's get rid of that, pop our cap on, our collar. Now we'll get the gun. So got some fans set up. Got one off over here blowing out the window as well. Let's get our first coat on. It's going to be really light, kind of a tack coat is what they call it. It's just something for that next coat to hang on to is all. We'll let this coat set up for a little bit and then we'll hit it with another one. It's pretty hot today. We shouldn't have to let it sit too long between coats. I would say probably like 15-20 minutes tops. And really, by the time I get around all of this, it's just about time to start the next coat already. So this next coat's going to be kind of a medium wet coat. It's going to go on a little heavier than that last one. We're going to go for full coverage, and we want to do about a 50% overlap on each one of our passes. So here's coat number 2. It's just turning out really nice. It's laying down good. Just slight orange peel, that's to be expected, no big deal. If you can't live with it, if it's too excessive, you can always go back and color sand and buff. Trying to get the lighting just right, but this orange peel seems to be totally acceptable. I mean, that's what it would have from the factory. So you could get away with just leaving it alone. But I'm sure when we're done, we'll have some dirt, little things like that you got to kind of nib out, polish stuff. So we'll go over the whole thing with the buffer nonetheless. And we got little stuff like this guy over here swimming around. Yeah, check this guy out. We're gonna have to pick him out of there, I guess. You gotta be careful messing around doing this. You'll make things even worse. Which is probably what I'm about to do. Come on out of there, stupid. There we go. This freaking guy. Alright, let's get that last coat on there. Now when it comes to this coat, we're going to turn our pressure way down, and this is called a control coat, a drop coat. There's a lot of names for it, a mist coat, whatever. And basically we're just going to open our fan wide open on our spray pattern on the paint gun, and we're going to turn the pressure way down like I said, and we're just going to kind of just fog that paint on there, and it's going to lay right into this wet bed. It's just tacky enough, but not too tacky. It should just lay right in there and just kind of melt in, and it's going to even up all your metallics and make it where you don't have any splotchiness. So I went in the house, got cleaned up, let the car dry for a few hours, and here we are. Not too bad considering that we painted outside, y'all. I can't believe that it even turns out this clean. I do see a few little dirt pieces in there, here and there, but nothing crazy. I'm out here kind of touching on the surrounding areas, and it's pretty dry. It still leaves a thumbprint if you push on it for a long time, yeah, but it's dry to the touch. So I've got a ton of unwrapping to do, you guys. I'm not gonna bore you guys with any of that. On the next video on this car, we're gonna be putting it back together. Gotta get the doors on it, the hood, and we're gonna start finally hanging all that trim. Tons of trim gotta go back on this, plus those big, giant, bulky bumpers. We gotta get all that on there. So lots of work left ahead. I appreciate you guys watching, following through on this project. I know I kind of left you guys hanging on it there for a little while, but we're back on it, and I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video showing that we are indeed moving on with this project and going to get it done. So anyways, please like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I do appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget my Facebook, Instagram, all that. You guys want to get your notifications from me, and don't wait on them from YouTube just in case you don't get one. They don't always send out notifications on videos, but I do. So anyway, I'm going to get on out here, you guys. Thanks for joining me.